Yo, what's up, everybody? Eyecee here, and my bad. I was talking, but I wasn't live. I'm sorry I wasn't live, but yeah, I wasn't able to put up a video today. I got caught up with some stuff, but I still did my spreadsheet, so I thought I might as well just make a quick video before lock. If you guys want access to the spreadsheet, DM me on Twitter at Eyecee DFS with your email. Send me your email. I'll share you the spreadsheet. It's free. I have my notes here. Some of them are pretty detailed and stuff, so if you want access, by all means. But let's get right into this. Let's get right into this slate. Nice slate here, in my opinion. Lots of good matchups. In the first matchup, Memphis versus Charlotte is probably one of the best. My top play on the Memphis Grizzlies side is Ja Morant at 6,100. He's a fantastic option for me. He's had two bad games back to back, but the matchups were tough against the Magic and the Spurs. It was kind of predictable that. Wow, my English is terrible right now. You could have predicted that he would have had a bad game against those two teams because they're both tough against guards. However, this is a great bounce back spot here against the Charlotte Hornets, who are a young up and coming team that play at a very fast pace, that have a lack of defensive identity right now. So Ja Morant's in a great bounce back spot here, in my opinion. He's one of my top guards, especially granted the price. He's a mid-tier play. There's guys above him that I like. There's guys below him that I consider. But Ja Morant's priced perfectly, in my opinion. 6,100 is a great price for him. The other guy I'm looking at is Jaren Jackson Jr., Triple J, Mr. Walking Foul. He is risky because of the foul trouble, but he could smash his price here, right? Like, we know he has tremendous upside. He can go out there and get you 40 DraftKings points easily, so long as he stays out of foul trouble. The usage is fantastic. The minutes are great. So Jaren Jackson is the other guy I really like given the matchup. Then Jonas Valanciunas and Brandon Clark, I have lower considerations for. Jonas Valanciunas is a very risky play. He can mess around and win you a GPP. 6K is a reasonable price for the upside he has, but he has been playing below standard the last few games. He's mainly a GPP play. There's a lot of underpriced centers on this slate, so I don't get to too much Jonas Valanciunas, but definitely a GPP player that could win you the slate. And Brandon Clark is the other guy that I have low consideration for. 5,400 is a decent price for him. I'd rather play Jaren Jackson with the upside. However, Brandon Clark has a safe floor. He has a decent upside, and the matchup is great, so I'm also considering him. And I'm on the fence with Dillon Brooks. If Grayson Allen is out, then I don't mind getting to Dillon Brooks again at 4,400. He's very shooting dependent, but he's shown upside the last few games, and he can drop 40 DraftKings points too in this matchup, so another guy to look at. On the Hornets side, Cody Zeller is my top Hornet. The price is great now. It's no longer absurd. His minutes have also gone up the last two games, and this is a fantastic matchup for him. I like him, and he's someone I'm going to be playing a decent amount of at this price. I love the usage. I love the minutes. If they stay around the 28-minute marks, I love it, and the opportunity to go up against some of these younger Memphis guys should be great for Cody Zeller. He's also had great games against Jonas Valanciunas in the past, so you should also consider that. And then Terry Rozier is the other guy I'm really looking at on this Hornets team. The usage is still there. His price has dropped around 1,400, and he has huge upside, a decent floor, and the matchup is great for him. His ownership is going to be slightly lower than it should be based on previous games. But he's definitely someone that's due for a really great game, bounce back spot, someone to consider. Devontae Graham's another guy that I'll be looking at, but not as much based on his price. 6,900 is a little too steep for me, even if he is the most improved player candidate this season, early candidate. He's been killing it, but the price is a little bit too much for me. He's a little bit more expensive than Ben Simmons and 800 more than Ja Morant, who I like a little bit more. So I'm not going to be getting to too much Devontae Graham. But, man, his upside and minutes per game have been identical to Terry Rozier, if not better. He's assisting at a much higher rate than Terry Rozier, as you can see. So, definitely someone to consider. And then P.J. Washington's price is low enough now where I have him in consideration. He has decent upside, and his production has been pretty consistent throughout the season. He was overpriced before, but now at 5,300, he's reasonably priced. He has a low floor, but the upside is decent. Nothing really exciting, but he's in play just based on the matchup. And then Malik Monk, if Dwayne Bacon is out, which we're not 100% sure yet, but if Dwayne Bacon is out, then Malik Monk is one of my top plays on the Hornet. His minutes should be secured, and he's someone that's shown his upside throughout the season last year. We know what he's about. He hasn't been given a real chance aside from last game where he did go off. So if Dwayne Bacon's out and his minutes are going to be secured, Malik Monk at 4K is someone I'll be looking at. On the Philadelphia 76ers side, honestly, Ben Simmons is very cheap. 6,800 is too damn cheap for Ben Simmons. With Joel Embiid out, even though Ben Simmons does, do a little bit better with Embiid on the court, because they have good chemistry at the end of the day. They've been playing together for 3 years now. So without Embiid, it is a little tougher on Simmons, but with all the help he has now, Al Horford, Josh Richardson, it's good help compared to years past. Not really, actually. What am I saying? They had Butler, Covington, Sarek, all those guys. But, these guys are a different tier player. Not Butler, of course, but these guys are stars. So, Ben Simmons has a lot of help now. The matchup is tough against Orlando. It's not one of my personal favorites, which is why I had a real tough time ranking these guys. I just don't like the matchup with Orlando in general. But the prices are very low for a couple of these guys. The usage is going to be up with Embiid out. There is opportunity here for these guys to go out and exceed their value. So Ben Simmons, the top guy I'll be looking at. Considering the matchup he's going to be facing in Orlando, they're going to have to resort to Jonathan Isaac on Ben Simmons at time, in my opinion. Markelle Fultz can hang with Ben Simmons. So Ben Simmons would be my top play on the 76ers. And then I don't mind going back to Tobias Harris, even though he completely burned me yesterday. I stuck my neck out for this guy, man, but... God damn it, Tobias. God damn it. But I don't mind getting to him. His ownership should be low, and that's pretty much the only reason why I am considering him. Josh Richardson at 5,200 is very cheap, especially with Embiid out. He's already shown he has a tremendous upside. The floor is relatively safe with him, so I don't mind getting to Josh Richardson either. And then with Embiid out, Al Horford should definitely be in play. But matchup is tough. And there's other guys that I get to here that I like a little bit more than Al Horford, but definitely in consideration. On the Orlando Magic side, my favorite play is Evan Fournier. 5,300 is a great price. Easily can smash his value at this price. He's very shooting dependent, but he's also a playmaker for this team. The ball is in his hands quite a lot. A little bit less since Markelle Fultz has entered the rotation. But definitely Evan Fournier is still capable of playmaking, getting some assists. And if he's hot, he could easily smash his price. Couple of 3-pointers, couple of assists. Evan Fournier, 5,300, decent play. Aaron Gordon, Vucevic. Vucevic is always in play, so I don't really have much to say about Vucevic. He can go out there and smash his value on any given night. He's had 3 back-to-back games now where he's exceeded value, so he's in form. He's playing really well. There's no Embiid here. Horford's still a tough matchup, but Vucevic can get it done. Aaron Gordon's a flaky one. 5,700 though is a very good price, and I only love him because of the price. I hate how inconsistent Aaron Gordon can be, but this is a great spot for him to pop off, so he's in consideration. And then Jonathan Isaac, the stand-up performer for the Magic so far this season. Future All-Star for sure, man. This kid is something else. He's one of their top defenders. He's been playing out of his mind on both ends of the court. 6,200 may seem a little steep, but he does have the upside to go out there and smash. It's a tough matchup because 76ers are also a very tough defensive matchup for the opposition. But they play at an up pace here compared to the Magic, and Jonathan Isaac should have additional opportunity to produce on the offensive front. So he's another guy I'm considering, but just low considerations for this matchup. But keep an eye on this kid. On the fence with Terrence Ross because his inconsistent minutes scare me. He's very shooting dependent, but if he gets hot, he's someone that could easily get 10x on any given night. He's very risky. I don't like the matchup per se, but Terrence Ross has flashed his upside time and time again. 3,700 is a reasonable price for him. A decent GPP play, but it comes with its risks. On the Clippers side versus the Houston Rockets, this should be another good game. It's just tough for me rating the Clippers players, especially since Montrez has been a little overpriced in my opinion now. But without any further ado, let's get right into the Clippers one. So Kawhi Leonard is going to be fairly low owned for being one of the top price studs on the slate. It's a great matchup in a pace-up spot. The minutes have been good for Kawhi. He's coming off of a somewhat embarrassing game against Toronto where he was super inefficient, 2 for 11 in shooting. I expect him to bounce back here against this Houston team who's been playing at the fastest pace in the league. There's a lot of opportunity for the opposition to get additional offensive usage through Houston's inefficiency. Houston turns over the ball. The Rockets turn the ball over a lot. The Rockets take a lot of shots that they miss that turn into rebounds, long rebounds, which turn into fast break opportunities for the opposition. So Kawhi Leonard, Lou Williams, both of these guys are in play. With that in mind, Montrezl Harrell would have been the top play, but honestly, 7,700 is a little too damn steep for me, especially given all the other guys we have here as options. There's some guys that are way lower than him that just have a lot similar upside to him. But they're priced almost $1,000 cheaper than them that I get to. So I'm not really too excited about Montrezl Harrell. However, Montrezl Harrell's usage and production have been fantastic. He does have a 60 DraftKings point upside, but that was a game where Kawhi wasn't playing. So I'm just not really excited about Montrezl Harrell at 7,700 today. But Lou Williams, Kawhi Leonard, both these guys are in play. Lou Williams, former Rocket, but it's not really a revenge narrative. He's been fantastic so far this season. It's an amazing matchup for him against Harden and Westbrook. And if his shot's falling, he should smash value. He still assists at a high rate as well on this team. He's a primary ball handler when he's on the court. So a lot of the things are happening through Lou, and he's a great shooter. If it's hot, if everything's falling, then he can smash his value as well. So definitely in play for me. Let's just see real quick. Last few games for Lou, 34, 46, 58. So not bad at all. Again, the Milwaukee one was the one where Kawhi was up, but he essentially needs like 46 or 47. No, he needs 43.6 DraftKings points to hit 6x value, which he's pretty, he's capable of doing. So he's in play for me. The other two guys that are going to get a minutes usage bump here are J. Michael Green and Maurice Harkless with Landry Shamet out. Both of these guys are in consideration for me at their price point. They should be seeing a decent minutes bump and usage bump with Shamet out. Shamet does play 30 minutes after all, so the minutes are going to have to get distributed somewhere. So both of these guys are the ones I'm looking at. And I'm on the fence with Ivica Zubac. Look, if Zubac gets minutes, he could easily smash his price every single night. It's just he doesn't get the minutes because sometimes he gets played off the court because he's kind of slow. But I'm on the fence, man. Zubac is just a PPM monster, like a 2 PPM monster. You get 2 fantasy points per minute. So I like him, but I'm on the fence because Capella's one of the faster paced centers in the league. And they're going to most likely try and play small ball with the Rockets. So I don't know. I'm on the fence with Zubac. On the Rock, and then obviously keep an eye on Paul George. He's questionable. I'm pretty sure he's gonna play, but not more than 15 minutes. I'm not interested right now. If he plays, he's gonna affect Maurice Harkless and J. Michael Green, obviously. So that would diminish their usage and minutes bump with Shamet gone. But I still like these two somewhat because of their price. I still think they have a decent opportunity to outperform their price and value. So I'm still considering them with or without Paul George playing, but a little bit less if Paul George plays. On the Rocket side, Russell Westbrook's birthday, my favorite play, 8,900. He's still too cheap, man. I know he hasn't been playing that well. I know the usage hasn't been the same, but it's Russell freaking Westbrook, man. The first 5 games of the season, he was fantastic, and then he slowed down. Harden's usage has gone up. I get it. But this is a great spot for Russell Westbrook to go off against the Clippers. His ownership is going to be a little bit lower than it has been. And Harden's a little bit too expensive, man. He's 2,800 more than Westbrook. I'm not really interested. Of course, you always have to consider James Harden because you could go out there and get 100 DraftKings points, and it is not that tough of a matchup. But I'm expecting the Clippers to get the ball out of James Harden's hands. They're not going to let James Harden beat them. They're going to let someone else beat them. So they're going to get the ball out of James Harden's hand. They're going to force him to go left or whatever it is, and opportunity is going to be there. Guys like Russell Westbrook and even Clint Capella, PJ Tucker, all of these guys should see somewhat of a usage bump in this matchup because they're honestly going to try and get the ball out of James Harden's hand. All of the other guys are going to get a usage bump based on that, more opportunity. So Russell Westbrook's the top guy that benefits from that, and this is exactly why they got him for stuff like this. They know this is what people try to do to Harden going back to the playoffs, and this is what Russell Westbrook's directly going to help them avoid with his pace, with his ability to get to the basket. They're going to have to be really quick in transition after getting baskets, and that's still going to allow Harden to handle the ball at times, but Clippers are going to try whatever they can to get the ball out of Harden's hands. So Westbrook's my top guy, followed by Harden, and if Danuel House is out, then Ben McLemore would for sure get some interest from me. He's not like a guy with a tremendous upside, but he should be a safe play at this price. His minutes should be fantastic with House out, with Gordon out. So definitely a guy to be looking at. And then Austin Rivers could be another guy to look at, but I'm not that interested in Rivers. But he could be another guy with Aaron Gordon missing now that his minutes could also see a rise. And the necessity of him producing off the bench could be, significantly more needed than it has been previously. And then PJ Tucker, his price is down. He's in consideration. He's a fantastic play, especially if Danuel House is out. So I don't mind PJ Tucker at all. But as it stands, he's not someone I'm highly considering. But definitely, if Danuel House is out, PJ Tucker is going to get a lot more opportunity for those 3 balls. So that's that. On to the next, another revenge narrative: Washington versus the Celtics. Isaiah Thomas, if there ever was a revenge game, this is it. Isaiah Thomas, 4,900 starting, played 29 minutes last game. I like him. I don't mind him. If he plays around 28, 29 minutes, definitely could go out there and smash value at 4,900. Boston is a very, very tough defensive team, perhaps one of the best in the league. I think they're top 3 defensive and offensive efficiency-wise. So it is a tough matchup, but I'm hoping the Wizards players really feed the ball to Isaiah. He's really playing in form right now. He's back. He's had some good games under his belt. And 4,900 is a fair price for him for the amount of usage he's had. His assist rate is terrific. It's actually through the roof. So he's the primary ball handler when he's on the court, which is really why I'm not that interested in Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is going to be one of the lowest owned guards tonight for his price, like guys in his range. Bradley Beal still has decent upside, but Celtics are a really good defensive team, and they're not going to allow Washington to beat them through Bradley Beal. I don't think they mind if Isaiah Thomas does it because they know Isaiah Thomas is not that efficient of a shooter. He does get hot, and he does make tough shots, but they'd rather Isaiah beat them than Bradley Beal. So there's that, but Bradley Beal could definitely go out there and exceed value. It's a little bit of a tougher situation for him today, granted the matchup, but it is a possibility. So he's still in play for me, just based on the fact that his ownership is going to be really low. And if he does have a good game, then that'll separate me from everybody else. Thomas Bryant's the guy I'm really looking at. 6,500, great opportunity here, especially if Thies is out. Kanter's not that great of a defender, and Robert Williams is prone to foul trouble. So that could leave the floor open for Thomas Bryant to just bully the guys around and dominate it. Of course, Marcus Smart can guard 1-5, and he's going to try to slow down Bryant, and he's capable. Don't get me wrong, but Thomas Bryant's a beast, one of my favorite players in the league, point per minute monster. Hasn't really had those monstrous games that he did last year. It's particularly since Isaiah Thomas has entered the mix, his usage has gone down. But Thomas Bryant's a fantastic player, and they're going to try really hard to shut Isaiah Thomas and Bradley Beal down. The other guys are going to have to get it done, starting with Thomas Bryant. The other guys, there's a lot of notes here. If you guys want access to the spreadsheet, DM me on Twitter. I don't really want to waste too much time going through all these guys. But real quick, Rui Hachimura at his price point, I love it. The matchup is what puts me off. He also is prone to foul trouble. David Bertans has huge upside. I love the price, and they're going to need him. He hasn't been playing all that well recently, last few games, but that could all change in a heartbeat. Ish Smith coming off the bench is another good value play, decent upside, so I don't mind him. I like the matchup. I don't like the matchup, but I like the price and I like the minutes. What else is there? CJ Miles, he was like 0 for 7 in the last game against the Cavaliers. Super bad, super terrible, but I love the price. And if he gets hot, if he gets 20 minutes, I don't mind him. Great GPP play, could get 30 DraftKings points, no problemo. Mo Wagner, another player with huge upside. I don't really like him in this matchup, but he's going to be one of the guys that's going to have to get it done for them. He's a good 3-point shooter. Let me just double check because I've been confusing some of these guys recently. Mo Wagner. Yeah, he's been taking a good amount of 3-point shots. I mean, he's on and off with the 3-point shot, but he does have tremendous upside at this price. He hasn't had one of those crazy games yet, but he's been playing limited minutes, and even in limited minutes, he's been performing really well. If he can get around the 25-minute mark that he was seeing in the preseason and a couple of the games in the regular season so far, then not a bad play, but he's very risky, so I'm not really too excited about any of these other guys, but they're all somewhat in consideration or in my thoughts. But yeah. CJ Miles would be my favorite GPP play just because of his upside on the price, ownership, and everything included. Not many people are going to be playing CJ Miles today, and he's just coming off of a terrible game, which is why he played those reduced minutes. He should be playing closer to 20-24 minutes. Okay, on the Boston Celtics side, honestly, Jason Tatum, Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown. I don't really have a favorite out of these three, but it would probably be in this order. Jaylen Brown being close to Jason Tatum's price is not really appealing to me. I like Jason Tatum more than Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown does have his own upside, like he's shown it, but it's not on a consistent basis. I honestly don't think we need that from Jaylen Brown. He could try. He's gonna go try, and of course, I don't even. I'm really confused about the Celtics, guys. In all honesty, I don't really see any of these guys exceeding 6x value. They'll all do good. They'll all do decent, but I don't really have a favorite out of these three, and I'm not really excited about any of these three. They're going up against Washington. Washington is a pretty shitty defensive team. High scoring opportunity for the Celtics, especially due to how efficient they have been offensively. But I'm just not excited about these three guys, and I just don't want to blow smoke up anybody's ass. I'm not excited about these three guys. They can go out there and have good games, but personally I'm not going to be playing much of them. But they do have their upsides, but they also have their downfalls. So some of their prices are a little too much compared to some of the other plays on the slate. Yeah, they have a good matchup here, but there's other guys I like at the position that I'll be getting to, so that's that. Daniel Theis is questionable, and if he doesn't play, then Robert Williams is a really favorite play of mine at 3,900. He got 6 blocks last game in limited minutes, and he does have foul trouble, but he also has huge upside. So not a play I'll be getting away from. He's going to be the most popular Celtic if Theis is out. So chalky play. Nothing really wrong with him. He is a young kid after all. There is some risk, but I mean, he's a very athletic guy. He gets up and down the court. He tries to defend. Not really that great at it, but he tries. So the 6 blocks is indicative of that. He can get you those type of stats. He will try and get steals. He'll jump up high to get those long ball passes. So definitely a possibility to exceed his value for sure. And I'm on the fence with Enes Kanter. I'm not sure the minutes will be there for him, so slight consideration. But if Dietz is out and we get some 20-minute plus confirmation, which we should in a little bit, then he's in consideration for me. Otherwise, I'll pass for now. Next game, we got San Antonio Spurs versus the Timberwolves. On the Spurs, honestly, I just like DeJounte Murray at the price. He's had some bad games. He is risky. But against the Timberwolves, if they're missing Jeff Teague, DeJounte Murray, I always say it wrong. DeJounte Murray will be in play for me. His usage is still fantastic. He's had some bad games, 2 in a row now. Ownership will be low, but the matchup is good for him. I don't mind him at all. And then LaMarcus Aldridge still at 6,600. I don't like him as much as I did the other day, but his price is still cheap. He has 50 DraftKings points upside, so he's in consideration. And then these other guys I'm not really too excited about. Rudy Gay is great when he's given the minutes, and if he's given upwards of 28 minutes, and for sure at 5K, he'll be in play. I honestly don't think he's going to get 28 minutes today. I think he's going to get his 23, 24 average, so I'm not really excited about anybody else. Trey Lyles I'm on the fence with because he has decent upside and he has a safe floor. The minutes have been great. He has been starting, so he's in my thoughts, but I'm still on the fence with him. But 3,700 is a decent price for a guy playing that much minute and has not as much of a usage role. The opportunity comes and goes, so that's why I'm on the fence. On the Timberwolves side, honestly, on the Timberwolves side, I just love Karl Anthony Towns as it stands. If Jeff Teague is playing, then I don't mind Jeff Teague. But since we don't know yet, let me just double check real quick. Fantasy Labs. We know anything? All right, Bacon's out, so I love Malik Monk. Fultz Fournier, nothing. Not there. Herder's out for Thursday. We don't care about that. Okay, Trey Breaks playing on Wednesday, so that changes a little bit. Rodney Hood is probable. Hassan Whiteside probable. Man, that's going to change a lot of things. Whiteside. Yeah, so we still don't know if Jeff Teague's playing. I mean, he has an illness, so I think he plays. And if he plays, he's 100% in play for me at 4,600. But as it stands, Karl Anthony Towns is the only guy that's in play for me. If Jeff Teague is out, then I will give Andrew Wiggins some slight consideration. He's bought into his coach Ryan Saunders' philosophy, and he's been playing really well, but 7,900 is too scary for me, man. Andrew Wiggins can go back to the Andrew Wiggins of old in a heartbeat. But, I mean, he's been playing really well. The usage is fantastic. The minutes are great. And he's been playing well, honestly, so he has my respect. I have him in some small consideration. I'm still scared from Andrew Wiggins from the past, man. I've been burned too much, but by all means, he's in a great matchup spot here. The Spurs don't play as tough of a defense as they did in the past. They're also ranked in the middle when it comes to pace, so they're not a slow team by any stretch of the imagination. So it is a decent opportunity for Wiggins, again, going up against DeRozan. But the Spurs are going to try their damnedest to slow down Karl Anthony Towns and Wiggins. So that's why Wiggins is a late consideration. But Karl Anthony Towns should be good to go. 9,300, one of the chalkiest plays on the slate today. Huge upside. Definitely in play for me. I don't care about the matchup against the Spurs. Definitely in play for me. And then Shabazz Napier is questionable. If both Jeff Teague and Shabazz Napier is out, then I will look towards Travion Graham over Josh Okogie. Josh Okogie, of course, has more upside than Travion Graham, but Travion Graham has been more consistent, and the coaches trust him more. I trust him more, so that's where I'll be going. But that's pretty much it. The next game we got here is the Toronto Raptors versus the Trailblazers. Another one of my games that I'm going to be watching for sure. This should be a good matchup. The Raptors are missing quite a lot of people, which opens up a lot of opportunity for a lot of these guys on the slate. Starting with Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam. Both of these guys played playoff minutes, like 44 minutes or something last game. Expect something similar if it's a close game, which I'm predicting it should be. Both of these guys, even though VanVleet is priced up and he's quite a lot more than Ben Simmons and all that, he's still in play for me, 100%. He has tremendous usage. If he gets hot, he can smash, and he's assisting, he's rebounding, he's a dog, he's in play for me. Pascal Siakam, what can I say? He's another early season at most improved player candidate. He's going to be an all-star this year. He's playing out of his mind. I don't really know who can stop him on the Trailblazers. The usage is going to be through the roof, even now with OG out. So definitely the guy on the Raptors. Norman Powell should also see a good amount of minutes bump here, around closer to 30-35 minutes. Trailblazers play a very small lineup when Whiteside's not there. They have a lot of guards in the playoffs that use the 4-guard rotation. So Norman Powell is going to be in play. And then Rondae Hollis-Jefferson is going to be one of the cheapest or chalkiest value plays tonight. He's going to have tremendous ownership, but he is a little bit risky in my opinion. Boucher got into foul trouble last game, and OG got injured, which is mainly why he got a big bump. But Boucher is the guy I'm looking at more than RHJ. I just love Boucher's upside. He's going to be used a lot more. He would have played closer to 30 minutes last game if he didn't get the foul trouble. He has tremendous upside, more than Rondae Hollis-Jefferson in my opinion. But both of these guys are great plays on the Raptor. Cheap plays, small forward, power forward, great option, great value plays. Both of these guys are going to be in a lot of my lineups. Combined, I'd say like they'd be in at least 85% of my lineup. So I love both of these guys, but I like Chris Boucher just a little bit more than Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. I feel like he's safer. The coach trusts him more. But yeah, Terrence Davis is a sneaky play for me. I'm on the fence with him. Sorry, he should be blue. He's one of my sneaky plays of the night. He's in a fantastic matchup here. They're going to need him a little bit more. especially with OG out now. He is one of the trusted guys. Early on, he was the first guy Nick Nurse trusted out of all the new guys. So if that means anything to you, then that means something to you. He does play like Westbrook, very fast-paced, athletic, energetic guard. He could go up and down the court in a heartbeat. One of the main reasons these guys have a very fast transition offense. The Raptors are ranked number 1 in transition points. So Terrence Davis's pace is one of the main reasons. He's very, very fast. He's playing a good amount of minutes in the last few games. And all the Raptors are shooters at the end of the day. Rodney Hollis Jefferson not as much, and Chris Boucher not as much, but Van Vliet, Siakam, Gasol, Powell, Matt Thomas is a crazy good shooter. OG, all these guys can shoot. OG is top 3-point shooter in the league right now. So his absence is going to be felt today. But yeah, a lot of these Raptors I like just because of all the injuries. There's a lot more usage to go around, and a lot more minutes, and minutes equal production. So some of these guys' prices are still too cheap for the amount of minutes they're going to be getting. Norman Powell, RJ, Chris Boucher particularly. On the Portland Trailblazers side, we got Lillard, McCollum. I'm not really excited because the Raptors are really going to try and get the ball out of these guys' hands. Can they go off? Sure. These guys are elite all-star level players, so they'll still be able to get some of theirs, but it is going to be harder than most games. Raptors are a very well-coached team. They all work together, and they're going to definitely try to get the ball out of these two guys' hands and get the other guys to beat them. The other guys being Hassan Whiteside. If he's playing as of this moment, he is probable, so we don't know where he goes, but if he plays, he's definitely one of my favorite plays on the slate. He has real 50 DraftKings points upside on any given night, so I don't mind getting to him whatsoever. And then Rodney Hood being questionable means Bazemore, Hezonja, or Fernie Simons. All three of these guys should see a usage bump with Rodney Hood out, plus the fact that the Raptors will get the ball out of Lillard and McCollum's hands and force the other guys to make shots. So these guys should have an offensive uptick in this matchup, and I don't mind getting to these guys. I'd probably go in this order: Bazemore, Hezonja, Simons. But Simons' price has gone a little bit high now, and honestly, he has the same upside as Bazemore. He's probably a little bit safer than Bazemore because Bazemore is prone to being a fade more type of player. But I don't mind Bazemore here. He is the trusted vet at the end of the day, so he should be in line for a usage bump for sure. One of the first ones to do so. But Hezonja and Simons, both of these guys can get it done, with Simons being the guy that's been more consistent in recent memory. He's been playing well. He is the future of this team, and definitely can get it done. I love what I've seen from this kid. He's in consideration for me. But aside from that, not really interested in anybody else. On to the last game of the night. Draymond Green, 5,600. What the hell? He's too cheap. He is risky with his foul troubles, but I still love the upside. There's huge upside with Draymond Green. He's one of my favorite plays. I hope he doesn't foul out or get ejected for 2 techs, but man, 5,600 is too cheap. I don't know how I get away from that. Honestly, I don't know how. The only thing that helps is there are a few other guys at the position that are also relatively underpriced, so that saves me. But Draymond Green really appeals to me a lot. My favorite Warrior play. D'Angelo Russell, revenge. I don't know. He's getting crazy usage still. The matchup is a little bit better with AD out, not defending the rim. He's the best defender at the rim versus the opponent. So with him out of the picture, it should be a little bit easier to get some easy points for everybody across the board. D'Angelo Russell should benefit the most with no AD blocking the basket. So his usage is good. His minutes are great. His price is fair for everything considered. And Lakers have been giving it up to point guard so far this season. So I don't know why I wouldn't get to D'Angelo Russell. Rondo's not playing, so that helps his case somewhat. But I like D'Lo. Glenn Robinson's the other guy I have slight consideration for. The minutes are great, but the upside is limited. So I have some exposure to Glenn Robinson, but not a lot. And then Jordan Poole I'm on the fence with. Just like Kobe White, he can hit a couple of shots and he'll exceed his value very easily. He's been getting peripherals and performing even though his shot hasn't been falling. So if his shot falls combined with all the other stuff, he could exceed his value. He's definitely risky, especially in this matchup, but someone I'm just on the fence with. I like the kid. I like what I've seen from him. It's just his shot hasn't been falling, and he is a rookie, so go figure. Next game, Lakers. My favorite play from the Lakers and my favorite play on the whole damn slate is Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma. I love Kyle Kuzma, man. Like, Kyle Kuzma is like 4,100. 80 is out. His minutes should be fantastic. The usage should be even higher than it has been in his limited minutes. Yeah, he's shooting dependent, but he can also get you peripherals and other things. The Lakers are really going to need Kyle Kuzma today. Especially since LeBron doesn't really seem like wanting to take over games as he has in the past. He's been trying to get everybody involved, mainly AD involved, and since Kyle's back, he's taking a little bit of a backseat in that department as well. He's still performing at a high level, LeBron James is, but personally, Kyle Kuzma is my favorite player on the slate. He's just too damn cheap. The minutes should be there. He should be playing around 25 minutes, and unless we hear otherwise, because it is a back-to-back for them, I'm not too concerned. I'm 100% playing Kyle Kuzma in almost every single lineup unless we hear otherwise. I don't see the risk here. I just see upside. So Kyle Kuzma is 100% in play for me, followed by LeBron James, of course, top stud on the night. I'm expecting a monster game from LeBron with Anthony Davis out. He's coming off of an embarrassing game against the Raptors and then a decent game against the Suns. But again, in the fourth quarter, he was atrocious. He missed free throws. He was forcing a lot of shots. Took 7 shots in the fourth or 9 shots or something. And if it wasn't for Kyle Kuzma, we'd be talking about the Suns beating the Lakers. So I don't mind LeBron at all. His usage should be through the roof with AD out. There's also no Rondo, primary ball handler, de facto. So I don't mind him. And then between Avery Bradley, Danny Green, KCP, I kind of like Danny Green at 3,800. A little bit more than I like Avery Bradley. Avery Bradley has been consistent somewhat compared to the other two. He does have decent upside as well, and with Anthony Davis out, his usage should also be increased. So I don't mind Avery Bradley at all, but Danny Green should also be seeing a usage increase with AD out. Should have a little bit more opportunity to produce offensively, so I don't mind him. And then KCP is the dice roll, man. You don't know what you're going to get with this guy. His minutes were non-existent last game, so it's kind of risky. And then between Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, both of these guys should see a usage and minutes bump. They're priced fantastically low here, 43 and 37. If they're going to be seeing 20 to 25 minutes, and both of these guys are in heavy consideration for me, especially in this matchup against the Warriors, who have been terrible against centers. So both of these guys smashed the Warriors over and over again in preseason. So I don't see why that doesn't happen again. And both these guys are in high consideration for me. So with that, guys, that's my video for today. Again, sorry I didn't post a video earlier in the day. A lot of stuff came up, but I do have my spreadsheet ready. So if you guys want access to my spreadsheet and my full notes for all the guys that I didn't cover, you can DM me on Twitter at Eyecee DFS, and I will share it with you. But until then, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Hit the like, subscribe if you haven't. I'd really appreciate it. And best of luck tonight. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.